Pete, do me a favor, will you? Pick me up in the morning. This being without a car is murder.
What's wrong with yours?
It needed a tune-up, so I let Mr. Markovsky talk me into letting the boys in his automotive shop class take a crack at it. That was 6 days ago.
6 days for a tune-up?
They got a little carried away. After they tuned it up, they decided to put on high compression heads, a dual exhaust, 4-barrel carburetors, and a racing camshaft.
You know, I can hardly wait to see you burning rubber in the parking lot. When's it gonna be ready?
Markovsky promised me tomorrow for sure. Oh, boy. I better get back to school. For the PTA dinner in the cafeteria.
If you're supposed to eat in the cafeteria, why'd you just eat here?
Need you ask?
I'll give you a lift.
No, relax. Finish your dinner. I'll walk. It's not very far. If I'm lucky, I'll get mugged on the way. See you tomorrow.
Pretend you know me. Please, somebody is following me.
Who, hired killers or enemy agents?
I was on the bus and this man sat next to me. A nice-looking man, and we began to talk, and then he made some suggestions.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
I don't know why I just didn't tell the bus driver, but instead I got off the bus, and so did the man. He's been following me for a couple of blocks.
Is he still out there?
Well, I don't see him now. I guess it's okay. Thanks.
Wait a minute, he may still be out there.
Look, I've imposed enough on you already.
You asked me to pretend I know you, right? Why pretend? I'm Pete Dixon. Sit down.
Leslie Gleason.
Hello, Leslie.
Hi, Pete. Look, I'm sorry about this. I mean, most times a thing like that wouldn't shake me up so much.
Don't apologize. Why shouldn't it?
Well, let's just say it's not the first time a man's done that. If I'd been in my own territory, I'd be able to handle it okay.
You're from out of town?
I'm staying with relatives until I find a job.
Your relatives. Are they expecting you for dinner?
Not really. Why?
I'll drive you home after you have something to eat here.
Really, Pete, I don't...
Any argument, and I'll send you right back out there.
Call me soon, okay?
I don't think I'd better.
You're not married.
No, but I am involved.
You don't act like a man who's involved.
Leslie, you're a very beautiful girl, very appealing. But like I told you, I'm involved.
If you say so.
I'm being straight with you.
Have it your way. I had a lovely time. Don't lose my number.
Oh, good morning. How was the ballet last night?
It's pretty funny how you always have something to do with the ballet in town. Did you get all your papers graded?
Not quite. I was planning to take you to dinner at Emilio's and tell you all about it later.
Now, what did you do that calls for Emilio's on a Tuesday night? I mean, it can't be anything good, right? What happened?
This isn't the time or the place.
Oh, wow. It's that bad, huh? What are you looking at?
I'll tell you at dinner.
This is going to be a long dinner. Looking for somebody?
Have you got an older sister? So that was you last night.
That was me, all right.
Set me up for that, didn't you?
Well, let's just say I planned it that way.
All that stuff about being followed and being from out of town, looking for a job.
Pretty convincing, huh?
Very convincing. Why?
Oh, would you have been interested in me if I told you I was a 12th grader?
I thought I made it clear to you last night that I was involved.
After you kissed me.
I'm not going to play your game.
I'm Mr. Dixon. Oh, you know my friend Pam, don't you, Pete? She's in one of your classes.
Pam?
We'll have to continue our discussion later in a more private place, right?
Wrong.
Oh, there you are, Pete. I mean, Mr. Dixon. I just wanted to tell you that Mrs. Greenlay is sick today, and Mr. Kaufman's letting me take over her 4th period history class. Isn't that sensational?
See you later, Pete.
So I was wondering if it's all right with you if I miss your 3rd period class. Hey, she called you Pete.
I noticed that. Do you offer your counseling services to teachers as well as students?
You have a real knack for giving me a nervous stomach lately. Does this have to do with what happened last night?
And also what happened today.
Today? Well, let's start with last night and work up to it.
I had dinner last night with Mr. Kaufman at Bob's Broiler.
Oh, I admit, a little jealous, but not distraught.
Kaufman had to leave. That's when this girl showed up.
What girl?
Just this girl, sitting in the booth with me.
You mean you just looked up and there was this girl sitting in your booth next to you?
She asked me to pretend I knew her. She said she was being followed by somebody who was on the bus with her. She came into Bob's Broiler for help. I was it. I wouldn't make up a thing like this. I just thought I'd tell you so you'd know.
I'm sorry. I'm glad you told me.
Here's more. I felt sorry for her. She seemed so upset. So I bought her dinner and drove her home.
Like I said, I'm glad you told me.
There's more. Look, Liz, it really didn't mean anything. I mean, you know, just the circumstances.
Are you trying to tell me that you...
No. No, she just kissed me, that's all. Didn't mean anything. I told her I was involved with you.
I certainly appreciate that.
Look, honey, try and accept this as the truth, because there's something else. Today I found out she was a student here at Whitman High. She set me up for the whole thing. Now I've got to figure out a way to handle it. Well, this is the place where you're supposed to say something.
Hi, everybody. Guess what? You know that class I took over today? It went just great. Oh, Pete, there's something that I heard today that I think you ought to know about. There's this terrible lie going around about you and some girl that's apparently true. Oh, no, is it?
No, it's not.
Oh, wow. You really had me going there for a minute. I mean, even if there wasn't anything to it, no matter how innocent on your part, you could really get into trouble. I mean, what defense would you have if some girl decided to yell rape? Well, it's true. It's not fair the way a girl tries to take advantage of a male teacher.
She's right, Pete. Maybe somebody ought to have a talk with that girl.
You want me to? I guess not. How about Mr. Kaufman? No. How about you?
Come in.
You want to see me, Miss McIntyre?
Come in, Leslie. Sit down. I assume you know why I called you in.
You assume right.
This is for your own good. I want you to understand it.
Oh, sure.
I'm trying to say that what you're doing is potentially damaging to yourself as well as to Mr. Dixon.
I think Pete can take care of himself without your help, Miss McIntyre. And I know I can.
Look, I can understand your being infatuated with Mr. Dixon. He's a very attractive man.
Ain't that the truth?
But believe me, you'll get over it. Become interested in boys closer to your own age.
I'm not interested in boys, Miss McIntyre. Not that it's any of your business, but I was engaged to a man much older than Pete.
You were.
Mm-hmm. Well, why don't you ask Pete if I seemed too young for him last night?
What are you trying to do? Hold that over his head? Use it against him to get something you want?
Don't you wish that was it? Something simple like blackmail for better grades or something? You could handle that, couldn't you, Miss McIntyre?
What do you want, then?
Pete, that's what I want.
I really blew it. I broke the cardinal rule of student counseling and let myself get emotionally involved. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Don't worry about it.
She put me right on the defensive from the minute she walked into my office. Leslie Gleason may only be 17 years old, but she's got the mind of a 28-year-old.
And the body, too.
She's not going to give up so easy, Pete. Hold on to your hat, but she plans to marry you.
Well, I've got news for her. If I get married, the girl isn't going to be 17.
Oh, I don't know. You might enjoy it. You could go to Disneyland on your honeymoon.
Yeah, when you come to think of it, she's not that much younger than you are, Pete. 11, 12 years. She's obviously all wrong for you.
Right.
Maybe you ought to talk to her.
No. I'll just cool it.
She may make trouble for you if she doesn't get what she wants.
I'll take that chance.
Secretary of State Seward bought Alaska from Russia for less than 2 cents an acre. The American people thought we'd pulled off a shrewd deal. Richie?
That was wrong. They thought Seward was stupid from buying a lot of useless land. They really put him down.
I wasn't aware Alaska was so funny.
We weren't laughing at that.
What were you laughing at then? Would you like to tell us about it?
No.
Read chapter 27. We may have a quiz tomorrow.
I got a message for you from somebody. She wants you to meet her at Bob's Broiler at 7. Unless you want her to be drastic.
Okay. Listen carefully while I give you the answer, because I want to make sure you get it straight. Are you ready? It goes like this. No.
That's it?
That's it.
She's not going to like that answer.
I didn't like that question.
I really do admire you. So much. So much. I really do.
Thank you. These go in the dropouts. Why?
Do I admire you?
So much.
Because of the way you're handling this whole thing.
Well, if you want to know the truth, I'm not handling it so well at all. I mean, think about it. What if Leslie decided to spin a little story for Mr. Kaufman? What would happen to Pete?
That's right. Oh, even if she told it straight, it would sound bad.
And if she wanted to give it a little color, Pete could get life.
Well, he did buy her dinner, and he did drive her home, and he did kiss her.
She kissed him.
Well, when there are 4 lips together, who's to say which ones are doing the kissing? Oh, I mean, you know and I know, but will Mr. Kaufman know? Oh, I'm sorry. I promise I'm not going to talk about it again. I promise. Where do these go?
What are they?
Miscellaneous complaints about teachers?
Oh, Mr. Dixon, Pete, you gonna be around for about an hour? I'd love a ride home.
Is your car in the shop again?
No, still, the boys do a little body work on it. Now it needs a new paint job. What color? I don't know. What do you like? Battleship gray or candy apple tangerine?
Hi there, Mr. Dixon. I wonder if I could talk to you. Hello, Mr. Kaufman.
Leslie Gleason, right?
That's right.
How's everything, Leslie?
Not too good. That's why I want to talk to Mr. Dixon.
Oh, well, if he can't help you, my door's always open.
Maybe you better take it up with Mr. Kaufman.
Oh, but I'd rather discuss it with you first. Oh, no offense, Mr. Kaufman.
No, that's all right. I've got to go back to my office anyway and requisition some volleyballs. You won't forget to pick me up.
In an hour.
Good.
Maybe we should go somewhere more private.
No, thank you. I'd rather stay right here.
Afraid you might be tempted if we're alone?
Look, Leslie, I told you, I am not interested.
You were sure interested the other night. I wonder if Kaufman would like to hear about that.
Leslie, if you're looking for romance, you're going about it wrong.
Look, Pete, I don't want it this way. You can't just walk away from me.
Watch me.
You walk away from me now, and we're going to have us a lover's quarrel right here in front of everybody. I can make a pretty good scene if I have to.
All right.
You can come with me if you want to.
Where we go?
Mr. Kaufman's office.
No, you can't.
Oh, yes, I can. We're going to settle this once and for all.
Mr. Dixon, I'd like to speak to Leslie alone. Would you leave us for a few minutes, please? No, then. Would you leave that door open, please?
What you doing?
Oh, just checking up on the old bulletin board.
Mm-hmm. I already heard about your little scuffle out on the quad.
It doesn't take the jungle telegraph long to spread the word, does it?
So what's happening?
Has anybody asked you to the senior prom lately?
No, but I bet I can guess who's asked you. Come on, give. What's going on?
Blood contributions are down 10% this year.
They're going to be up 10% if you don't answer my questions.
You can come too if you want.
So I said, what if I told you that you could get Mr. Dixon fired if he allowed himself to become involved with you? She said, not if we don't do anything in school, he couldn't. You know she's right, don't you? What you do on your own time is your business. Unless it's a morals offense.
Thanks a lot.
Well, what about her parents? Maybe we should call them in.
Oh, I tried that, too. Do you know what she said? Oh, fine, call them in. I'm sure they wouldn't mind. I wanted to ask her, is there anybody she particularly feared that I could call in? Leslie Gleason is a very shrewd young lady.
Diabolical is more like it.
Oh, come on. She's no Mata Hari. She's 17 years old.
Where?
Somewhere.
Pete, take my advice. Keep as far away from her as you can. Fortunately, she's not in any of your classes, but don't ever let her get you alone. Does she have your phone number?
I hope not.
Good. Well, just in case, get it changed. And unlisted. Get an unlisted address, too, if you can. If it wasn't so late in the school year, I'd get her transferred to another school, but that's liable to cause more problems than it solves.
I want you to have her transferred.
But I just told you.
Not to another school. Into my history class.
Why?
You took the word right out of my mouth. Why?
It's time Leslie found out she was 17.
How'd you do it? How'd you get in his class?
Go figure it, child. One day he makes like he wants to shake me, and the next day, here I am. I know I didn't arrange it, so you know who did.
Good morning.
Well, all I can say is don't fight it, honey.
Did you hear about him and Leslie?
What about him? Hope you'll enjoy being in our class, Leslie.
Oh, I know I will.
It ain't my business.
Take a seat, Bernie. Andrew Johnson was the only president in the United States who was ever impeached. You take notes in here.
Oh, I never take notes. I usually manage to get by without them.
Not in here, you don't. Richie.
Johnson wasn't really impeached. They tried to impeach him, but it didn't work.
Helen.
He was impeached. Impeachment means being charged with doing something wrong, whether you're found guilty or not.
Is that right, Mr. Dixon?
That's right. But why was Andrew Johnson impeached? Leslie.
What?
Why was Andrew Johnson impeached?
Because he was a bad president.
That's the obvious answer, but not necessarily the right one. Al.
The radicals in Congress were bugged because they wanted to punish the Southern leaders after the Civil War.
About Johnson's impeachment. 36 votes. What does that mean? Helen.
2/3 of the Senate, the amount of votes needed to convict Andrew Johnson.
36 votes and what else? Bernie.
And he was convicted.
We all know that, but what's at stake here?
The presidency?
Right. 36 votes, and the President of the United States is thrown out of office for the first time in history. 19 votes and he's still in. One man's vote can throw it either way. So somebody's under a lot of pressure. Isn't that right, Leslie?
Oh, if you say so, Mr. Dixon.
Well, what do you say?
I don't know. I have to think about it.
Okay. Johnson's impeachment. One man's vote either way, and he's out or he's in. So who's the pressure on? Think about it, Leslie. We'll wait.
The man who had to make the deciding vote?
Right. One man whom nobody had ever heard of before suddenly has the power in his hands to make history. That's pressure. Very good, Leslie. Class dismissed.
See you later. Is this your way of getting even?
What do you mean?
Well, you were pretty rough on me today.
I was rough on Bernie, too. But you didn't notice that, did you?
You and Bernie don't have anything going.
Oh, yes, we do. I'm a teacher, and he's a student. That's what you and I have got going.
Okay, I got your message. Like you said the other day, it takes two. And I don't want to be in your class anymore.
You can stay. There's no reason for you not to.
I know. That's why I want to go. Bye for now, Mr. Dixon.
You know, one of the mysteries of civilization is why so many girls fall in love with their teachers. I mean, when you think about it, the picture of a teacher as an ideal romantic figure is pretty ridiculous, isn't it? He's got an unexciting job, a pitiful salary, very limited prospects for the future. Now, why would a swinger like Leslie Gleason fall for a man like that?
In case you hadn't noticed, he's absolutely gorgeous.
Oh.
Oh, incidentally, thank you for backing me up as far as Leslie was concerned.
Well, I usually go along with the teacher, unless the evidence to the contrary is pretty conclusive.
Like what?
Well, like a case I handled a few years ago. Now, that girl had pretty strong proof.
Oh, what was it?
A boy, 7 pounds, 3 ounces.
Roger Duncan.
They look more like a couple of kids than like chaperones.
Duncan's the only teacher in this school who makes Alice look mature.
Hey, what's the matter with him?
He's too groovy for his own good.
Well, maybe he tries a little too hard, but he's all right.
Tries hard? Honey, he is so in, he's out. You know what he calls me? Brother.
Thank you. Now, according to the Musicians Union and the child labor laws, the band had to take a break now. So you just have to settle for records by some inferior groups like Beatles, Stones, and other unknowns.
Now listen, about Duncan.
Let's drop it. I don't want to talk about him anymore.
Hey, who don't you want to talk about anymore?
Roger Duncan.
Oh, I think he's cute.
Cute.
The way he handles the students and everything. He never talks down to them. He always talks on their level.
He doesn't talk to them. He calls it rapping.
Still think he's cute. He reminds me of a Tiffany lamp.
I can't explain what you just said, but I think you're outnumbered.
I just don't understand what you don't like about him.
Whatever happened to the good old days when you could dislike whoever you wanted without an explanation? Let's dance.
Sure, brother.
So when's your next gig?
Well, it'll be in about another month now, you know.
Where about?
It's down that street somewhere. You make a
Hey, what's
right.
happening, Dan?
You know,
Right?
Well, it'll be about 7:38. If you want to, you can ride up with me.
Groovy dance, right?
Yeah, it's nice.
Hey, Richie, your band is really laying down some heavy sounds. Too much.
Well, we do our best.
I used to play in a band myself. In college, it was a pretty big group.
What you play?
Oh, well, a drum.
Oh, you play drums.
No, just drum. Bass drum. The Atlantic State University marching band. You know, half times. But we played some pretty groovy numbers.
I bet you cats spelled out some pretty heavy words.
No, I'll catch you later.
You know what bugs me?
What's that?
It's for a man old enough to be my father call me Dad.
What did you want to talk to me about?
Yes. Well, you seem like a very groovy chick, my kind of people, and, well, there's this Aretha Franklin concert next weekend.
Are you asking me to go with you?
Well, I guess so. Yes, in fact, that's what I'm doing.
I appreciate the fact that you're being so straightforward about it.
I like to be upfront.
I'm sorry, Roger, but Pete and I, sort of have a thing going.
Oh, I knew you two saw each other, but I didn't know you had a thing going. Hey, I wouldn't want Pete to think I'm trying to move in on his woman.
Oh, I'm sure he won't.
Oh, I gotta have a talk with him anyway, man to man.
It doesn't matter, really. I don't think it's necessary.
No, it's best to be upfront.
Richie, if you ever need another singer for your group, I'm available.
I remember that. The fellas in my group got to play something, too.
Well, I have been known to play a little guitar.
The next time I schedule an audition, I'll let you know.
Hey, brother, can I see you for a minute?
Yeah, what is it, Doctor?
Excuse me. Pete, I just stepped on your turf, man. I gotta tell it like it is.
Turf? What turf?
I just asked Liz for a date. I didn't know you two had a thing going. You're not mad, are you?
Is she going out with you?
No.
Then I'm not mad.
Hey, you're beautiful. Hey, listen, maybe you know a chick you could fix me up with.
No, sorry.
Well, maybe a girl from your neighborhood. Do you have a sister?
No, I don't. But I do know a chick. Just what you're looking for. She digs you.
Really? No kidding.
You could probably take her home right after the dance.
She's here. You mean she teaches here? Oh, I got it. What's her name? The Black Studies teacher?
She's right over there.
Alice. But she's, great. Groovy. No, thanks. Anytime, brother.
What are you doing?
Frisking you for pot. I know all about you musicians. I used to play drum myself.
I don't smoke pot.
Oh, come on. You can be straight with me. That's the cool part about chaperoning these gigs. Anything I find, I can keep.
I bet you really do. Wow, you're really a groovy teacher. I mean, you're the only teacher in school who's turned on and tuned in.
One more time. The opposing armies stood facing each other. Then they just fired away, point blank. That's one of the reasons the British were defeated. It seems as though the American revolutionaries didn't play fair. They hid behind rocks, trees, or whatever they could find.
You mean them dudes invented guerrilla warfare?
Not exactly. It was a little trick they picked up from the Indians.
That's something the Indians live to regret.
Pete, can I talk to you a minute? I've just heard something about the dance Friday night, and if it's true, we're going to have to get chaperones for the chaperones.
What do you mean?
Our little old pot smoker, Duncan. Is it true he was asking kids for marijuana?
Oh, no. He was just joking with the kid. I don't think the kid took him serious. He's just showing off. You know how he is.
Well, that's what I thought. He's not really the type to be a hothead. I've seen him get giggly sucking on a menthol cough drop. But I'm still going to have a little talk with him for his own good. He'd be in real trouble if anybody believed him.
Not much worry about that.
Why would you tell kids that you smoke marijuana? You don't, do you?
No, I don't. Honest. If you don't believe me, you can look at my eyes.
Oh, I don't want to look in your eyes. But why would you say that to a kid?
I was just kidding. A friendly joke.
Look, these kids have plenty of friends. What they need are teachers. Teachers they can look up to.
I'm sorry if I did anything wrong. I didn't mean to.
Well, don't say it like that. You make me feel like a rat.
I'm sorry. You're just doing your job.
Look, Duncan, please, don't let this happen again. If a thing like this ever gets back to the school board or the parents, you might not only lose your job, you might find it very difficult to get another one.
Now, this is a class on government, dig? But the heaviest thing I can impress on you is that government isn't something that can't change. It changes as the times and the peoples need change. That's why it's so important for us to understand what laws are being passed. Now, just because we make a law doesn't mean it's a groovy thing. Prohibition. Man, prohibition is the classic example. It caused crime. I mean, it was against the law to take a drink. Can you dig it?
Dig it. Groovy, heavy, man. Wow.
Let's put him on. Mr. Duncan.
Yes?
Aren't we having prohibition right now?
What do you mean?
Well, it seems like the marijuana laws are the same thing.
Oh, no. You're not going to drag me into that one, man.
Why not? You said law affects us all. Why can't we discuss it? It's our right.
Well, to be really upfront, I'm in hot water with the administration right now about my liberal thinking.
About marijuana laws?
I'll plead the fifth on that one. It strikes pretty close to home.
Hey, Mr. Duncan. Are you telling us that you turn on?
I didn't say that.
I didn't think so.
Now, I didn't say I did or if I didn't. Let me put it this way. It's cool to do your own thing, but it's not always cool to talk about it. Are you hip? Now, let's get back to what we were rapping about. If a law isn't cool, what
Let me have
can
one
we
of your
do about it?
sunglass cleaner things, okay?
What are you going to do with that?
The biggest put on
No,
of
you're
all.
wrong, man. The individual
What are you
citizen
doing?
can
Making
challenge
Mr. Duncan his first marijuana cigarette.
the
man. Crazy. First place to look. Man, I gotta talk to you. What's wrong? Oh, nothing.
Nothing? You come in here shaking like a turkey on Thanksgiving and nothing's wrong.
Pete, I have a problem. Sometimes I'm just too groovy for my own good.
Is that right?
I'm in a weird position. One of my students just gave me a marijuana cigarette. Don't you want to know who?
Okay, who?
I don't know who.
Duncan.
Oh, Duncan. Well, I think I know, but I'm not sure. I just found it laying on my desk. Oh, wow. I remember when they used to give teachers an apple.
Where is it?
Well, I hid it. It's locked in my desk. Nothing like this ever happened to me before. It's a trip.
Just calm down now. Take it easy. Now, why did the student give you marijuana?
How would I know?
Get off it. There had to be a reason.
Okay, I was talking about prohibition, and the kids compared it to marijuana laws.
Duncan, you didn't say you smoked marijuana again.
Of course not. But it's possible they got that impression.
They didn't get that impression unless you gave it to them. How can you be so stupid? Mr. Kaufman just got through chewing you out for that.
No harm was done. And come on, man, we both know there's nothing wrong with marijuana.
You know that, but I don't. Besides, the kid can go to jail for 2 years for using it.
Ah, the marijuana laws are way out of line.
Tell that to a kid who's sitting in jail and see if it makes him feel any better.
Look, brother.
And you call me brother one more time and I'll...
Look, you don't encourage your students to drink, do you?
No.
Or smoke cigarettes?
No.
Or take tranquilizers?
No.
Well, then it follows that you shouldn't encourage them to smoke grass.
But I didn't encourage them.
You set the example. What happens if one of them tries it because you said you tried it? Suppose he gets busted and goes to jail. How cool do you think you'll be then, Mr. Duncan? How cool?
Not very cool. Pete, what should I do?
You've got two choices. You can take that cigarette, throw it away, and forget about the whole thing. Or go to Mr. Kaufman, tell him what happened, and hope he doesn't fire you.
I hate multiple choice.
I can't tell you what to do. That's something you'll just have to work out for yourself.
Okay. I'll do it. Do what? I'll take the marijuana out of my desk. Then I'll either take it to Kaufman or throw it away.
Strange bookmark you use, Mr. Duncan. The other teacher who shares your classroom was looking for some papers in your desk and found that. Now, I want to know where you got that, and I want to know now.
I can explain it.
I hope so. Because despite the fact that you pretend to be some kind of a hippie pothead, I sort of like you. I think you're a good teacher.
Thank you.
Don't thank me. I may have to fire you.
You mean that rumor is true?
He's in Kaufman's office now.
Who's in Kaufman's office?
Mr. Duncan.
Mr. Duncan? In Mr. Kaufman's office? Why? Who'd be knocking at the door of the teacher's lounge?
Somebody who's not a teacher. Come in. It's all right, Bernie. Come on in.
Bernie, aren't you supposed to be in class now?
I ditched it. I had to find out if the rumor about Mr. Duncan is true.
Well, he's in talking to Mr. Kaufman, if that's what you mean.
It's about some marijuana, isn't it?
Marijuana? Well, he wouldn't use marijuana.
What do you know about this, Bernie?
It's not marijuana.
See?
How do you know that?
Because I put it on his desk. It's just some pencil shavings rolled up in a piece of paper. I didn't mean to get him in trouble.
Why'd you do it?
The class was putting him on. We got him talking about marijuana because we knew he tried to act cool and hip. But everybody knows he's a phony.
And you left it on his desk as part of your big put-on. You're really a gas, Bernie.
Everybody puts him on, Mr. Dixon. Even you. Remember when you put him on at the dance?
Yeah, I did. I guess I can be pretty funny, too.
Bernie, why don't you go back to class now? I'll give you a note to get in.
Boy, this is the first time I've ever been in the teacher's lounge. It sure isn't much.
There is only one way you can get off the hook. Tell me who did it.
I can't. I told you I don't know.
But you must have a pretty good idea.
I think I know. I'm not sure.
Who?
I have no proof. I can't accuse a kid who may be innocent just to get my head off the chopping block. I'm not that irresponsible.
Excuse me.
Pete, did it ever occur to you to knock on the door so I can tell you not to come in?
This the evidence?
Yes, please.
I don't think Mr. Duncan can get into too much trouble for the possession of pencil shavings.
Pencil shaving.
Pencil shavings?
They do look... How did you know?
The kid who left it on his desk told me. It was a put-on, a practical joke.
A joke?
Oh, boy, some joke. Well, I guess that clears that up. Duncan, I hope I don't have to say stop this nonsense or that's going to be it.
Can I go now?
Yes. Now, which kid did it? He's going to spend the rest of his life in detention.
Don't punish the kid. I did it to myself.
What's the matter with him? Sounds like he wished it was marijuana.
In a way, I think he did. You want to talk about it?
The whole class was in on it. They set me up. The kids saw it, and I didn't realize it till right now. But I'm a phony.
Sometimes you come on like one.
Wow, I am a phony.
You don't have to be. You have an option. You can be honest. Not up front, not telling it like it is. Just honest.
Can't go back to that classroom.
Those kids aren't putting you down.
Well, they're not, huh?
They're putting down that character you've been playing, Mr. Hip, the one who they don't like. Give it a try. You can be pretty understanding if you give them a chance.
Have you ever been in a position like this?
No.
Then how do you know what it's like?
Duncan.
Just quit following me, will you? I'd like to be able to go where I'm going by myself.
So where you going?
I don't know.
Please take your seats. I think most of you know me. I'm Mr. Dixon. A substitute teacher is coming, so I'll only be here a few minutes.
Where's Mr. Duncan?
He won't be here today. Look, I think there's something I should talk to all of you about.
Why isn't Mr. Duncan here? They didn't fire him, did they?
No, they didn't.
We all feel bad about what happened.
Well, I think there's something you should know. Mr. Duncan could have gotten himself off the hook by telling which student was responsible for that little joke. He had an idea, but he didn't want to get anybody in trouble. He didn't even mention the fact that all of you had something to do with it.
I'll handle it from here on, Mr. Dixon. I decided I wasn't sick after all. I just had a case of the 24-hour cold feet. Hey, that was supposed to be a joke. I'm trying to show you I could put myself on, too.
Glad you're back.
You were telling the kids what a hero I am. Well, I want to set that straight. I wasn't being heroic or noble. I wasn't sure who gave me the stuff, and that's why I didn't name anyone. If I had known, I don't know what I might have done. Now, Pete, if you don't mind, wish you'd get out of here. I'd like to get this class started.
Take care.
You all made one very serious mistake yesterday. You know what that mistake was? You should have stuck around to catch the expression on my face when I found that thing. When I saw that, I almost died of terminal fear. I just knew that 96 policemen were going to bust in that door any second.
Do you really think he's changed?
Well, his students seem to have a lot more respect for him. He hasn't called me brother all week.
Are you talking about Duncan?
He's been a different person lately.
I wonder if he's different or if he's just gone underground. His copy of You Gotta Have Soul is 3 weeks overdue at the library.
Hey, here's an item of interest. Remember that time when a lot of people were smoking banana peelings?
You know, what are they smoking now, apple cores?
No. Pencil shavings. Sonny, get me Carl Wilson in the superintendent's office. Please. Want to see me?
Just for a second.
Come on. Oh, boy.
Line 1, Mr. Kaufman. Mr. Wilson.
This is something else. This is really something else. Hello, Carl. Carl. Look, I'm afraid it can't be done. No, that would be 5 more in each room, and that would... Yes, I can hold Carl. These geniuses downtown, they think they can just send over the desks and we can shove them in the rooms with a kid attached to each one. Now, look, Carl, you know what we're running here now, don't you? We're anywhere from 4 to 6 over the limit. How many is Lowell taking? How many to Garfield? Oh, big deal, Carl. 10 less. 10. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Because Lowell and Garfield didn't squawk, I'm supposed to take 385 transfers as calmly as if they were a few new cracks in the plaster? Listen, as far as cracks in the plaster are concerned... Yes, I can hold, Carl.
How soon?
Hmm?
How soon?
Monday. Now, look. Carl, look, this is tough. I mean, those teachers are overloaded now. I can't say yes to a thing like this. At least give me a chance to come down and yell at you in person. Now, wait a minute, Carl. Don't say it's final. Well, of course I don't want to dump them in the streets, Carl. This is terrible. Well, if there's no other way, what else? Oh, I don't want to hear you say thank you, Carl. I want to hear you say, I owe you one, Seymour. Let me hear it. I owe you one, Seymour. That's right, and it better be a beauty, Carl. There's a lot of things this school needs, especially now. Carl, let me put you on a hold. Forever.
Good morning, Mr. Kaufman. Don't you love these mornings now that the days are getting longer? It's good not to have to turn the lights on when you get up. You know, the real advantage is the extra time I have to work on my lesson plans.
Excuse me.
Take today's lesson plan, for example. Hey, you're not really interested in my lesson plan, are you?
Oh, well, I'm sorry. What were you saying?
Are you adding more students to the class, Mr. Kaufman?
Oh, no, I was just bored, and it was either move the furniture or change my hairstyle.
You're adding students to the class.
Mr. Kaufman, there will be more of us students in here.
You're a good boy, Richie.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning. Don't forget, 12 o'clock.
Right. Oh, get your racket restrung, because I don't want any excuses while I take the set.
My racket? I was going to give you a break and play with my mandolin. Oh, while I'm beating you, I'll explain about those extra chairs.
Well, this should be an interesting day.
What this country needs is 2 cars in every garage and 2 desks for every student.
Man, I told you, leave these desks together in the dark all night, and this kind of thing happens.
What's this all about, Mr. Dixon?
I don't know. Miss Johnson?
Well, Mr. Kaufman and I were discussing it a while ago.
And?
Well, he told me we were getting some new students.
Man, pretty soon they're gonna have you teaching in a stadium with a bullhorn.
You might be right, Jason.
5 new cherubs in every class. 5!
What started all this?
Rezoning, that new King Arthur housing development.
The one with the floating moat?
With our luck, there won't be a crocodile in it. We get everything east of Prince Valiant Way.
That's not all you're getting. Tonight's PTA night, remember? They're not going to like this either.
Oh, that's right. I forgot all about that. Oh, I'm just going to have to think of some way to sneak it past them, that's all.
I don't know. What about the Teaching Standards Committee?
Oh, the Teaching Standards Committee, the vigilantes. Look, this thing is already settled. It's an irrevocable, unchangeable decision. Now, what good is it going to do to get the PTA all souped up about it? All that's going to do is cut into my workday with irate calls and seeing parents. Not to mention the fact that there's always a couple of nuts with a drink or two in them that want to call my house 11, 12 o'clock at night.
Well, it may be an irrevocable decision, but I still think the committee will want to talk about it.
Who's the new chairman?
Pete Dixon.
Pete? Good old Pete?
Well, you may know a good old Pete I don't. The one I know was pretty sore about the size of his class last September.
Oh, don't worry about Pete. Pete is no problem. Well, there's one good thing about the PTA. Trouble can only come from one of two sources, parents and teachers. That's set.
You can't win them all, man. Don't you have some studying to do? Sure hurts to lose to a guy with nothing but dink shots and high lobs.
I don't know what you're complaining about. I'm the one with a fantastic win record, remember? But you flashy types get to endorse all the tennis rackets. There's no justice.
That's okay. I want another crack at you tomorrow. And no more of this lunch hour time limit stuff either. After school. Sun's better, too.
I'm yours. 4 o'clock. Actually, I was going to throw the game today to put you in a good mood.
If it's about those 5 desks in my room, you can put me in a good mood by telling me we're going to use them for firewood.
You know, Pete, you don't start out as a principal. I was a teacher myself for quite a while. I know how difficult a big class can be.
A big class, yes, but this is impossible.
I know, but believe me, there's nothing that can be done about it. There's no point in fighting it.
If you don't fight it, then you're handing out diplomas that don't mean anything. Pieces of paper that say that the kids have got an education. And they don't have one when classes get that big.
Pete, how long have you known me? I feel the same way about this thing as you do. But there's nothing I can do about it. It's over. Now, look, let me get down to what I've been building up to all along anyhow. I understand you're the new head of the Teaching Standards Committee. I want to ask you to cool it for me at the PTA tonight. I mean, let me just kind of brush through it. There's no point in getting the parents all fired up.
But that's what the PTA is all about. To help the learning process any way it can.
Pete, I'm trying to tell you, the decision is made. It's all over. I know when I can't win. Now, if your committee brings down the parents on my head for the next 2 or 3 weeks, I don't see how that can help the learning process. Do you?
It can go through.
I didn't let it. Just wave at it. Now, I hate to put it on. As a personal favor, I'm asking you to help me out. Let me do it.
It's asking an awful lot.
No? If it was a little, I wouldn't have to ask. Think about it.
You imagine what I thought?
That one's cream, no sugar.
Oh, thank you, dear. I mean, there were all those empty desks, and I just stood there. I just stood there and looked.
Sugar only.
Oh, thank you, Al.
I'm 3 more than I'm supposed to already, right? Well, and you know, I don't have one of those more...
You're too modest. I never have any trouble hearing you.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I think it's serious, and I only hope something can be done about it. 1 or 2 extra... 5?
Good evening.
Oh, hi, Mr. Turner.
Oh,
Turner, how are you?
We're discussing this outrage.
One thing, the furnace bill will go down. Lots more body heat.
Now, listen, this thing is no laughing matter. I simply can't teach a class that big.
Wouldn't you know, tonight we'd have a big turnout. I hope you understood why I had to ask for that this afternoon.
I was just talking to some of the teachers. They're pretty angry.
I know. That's why I'm not going to begin until they're a little less angry and a little more sleepy. Oh, Mrs. Ruiz. Mrs. Ruiz, I want to talk to... Excuse me, Pete. I want to talk to you.
You just have to volunteer for committees, huh?
I was thinking the same thing.
See you later.
Downtown knows if there isn't any outcry, they've gotten away with it.
They've got the kids. What are they supposed to do with them? Oh, but if we don't let this thing happen, then they'll be forced to find a better way.
Pete, you're chairman of our Teaching Standards Committee. You do plan to say something, don't you?
Ladies, gentlemen, please take your seats.
Let's just see what happens.
They said the situation is only temporary.
But how long is temporary?
May I say something? That's exactly what they told us many years ago when they added 3 pupils to my class. My class of 23 students.
Miss Ogilvy objected, stating that, quote, Walt Whitman is not a prison, unquote. Mr. Sanderson made a motion, and it was decided by a vote of 67 to 48 to form a bar committee which will study
As
the
soon as they
evidence
lapse
and
into the
make a
twilight
report.
zone, that's my chance.
However, the bar committee was tabled when only Mr. Sanderson volunteered, and the meeting was adjourned. Refreshments consisted of a delicious cupcake assortment and a punch with a frozen fruit juice base. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Jackson. And now, unless anyone has anything else to take up, it's getting late, and I think we have already come. Oh, Mr. Kaufman?
I just have a little thing, something that came up today. You all know that new housing development, the King Arthur, whatever it is. Well, it's caused serious overcrowding in the school that would normally take their students. So, unfortunately, we're going to have to take a few of their people just for the present time. But you'll all get an explanation of this thing in the mail.
Mr. Kaufman.
Mr. Dixon?
We all know that the classrooms are already overcrowded. I think we should strongly oppose the addition of any more students.
Yeah, let's do something about it. He's right. How can the board do this to us?
I don't know how the rest of you parents feel, but I'm against it. It's got to stop sometime.
Listen, Mr. Kaufman, my taxes are high enough. If you school people didn't waste money on unnecessary things, we wouldn't have to cram a whole mess of kids into one room.
How are we going to maintain the standards of this school? The next thing you know, they'll bring in double-decker desks.
There is only so much that can be done about this thing. There aren't enough classrooms. They're planning to build more.
Oh, Mr. Kaufman, they've been planning to build more for a long time.
Mr. Dixon, what's the point of all of this? The classrooms just aren't there, so what's this all about?
Well, if we don't fight this, we'll never get those classrooms.
Look, everybody, it's getting late, and this isn't getting us anywhere. I'm sorry about it all. Thank you and good night.
Maybe I call this one memorable PTA meeting.
Pete, you were fantastic. I mean, you presented your case so well that by the time you were finished, there wasn't one person in this room that didn't agree with you. Except Mr. Kaufman, of course.
It was rough on him, wasn't it?
Oh, no, I'm sure he loved every minute of it.
I think I'd better go talk to him and explain. See you. Mr. Kaufman! Mr. Kaufman! Can I speak to you a minute? I hope you understand about this.
No, I don't understand. I don't understand at all. We're still going to get those extra students, but thanks to what you did tonight, we're also going to get anger, frustration, and dissension. That's not good for this school.
But I had no choice.
Well, the way I look at it, what you did tonight was a pretty rotten thing. Once in a while, when you're in a jam, you look to a friend to help you out. I thought that's what I was doing.
But this isn't the kind of thing that you can put on a friendship basis.
Well, it's a basis I thought we were on. I guess I was wrong.
How do you like that? He just went right off the deep end. He didn't even listen to what I was saying. A rotten thing. Just because for once I didn't go along with him. Well, what do you think?
I think I'll keep my mouth shut until you cool off.
You know what I should have said? I should have said if I hadn't done some other rotten things, we'd have half-day sessions by now.
Look, I'm going in now.
If we do things his way, the next thing I know, I'll have to get permission from him to say good morning to my class.
See you tomorrow.
What do you expect me to do? Just sit there?
Good night, Pete. Go home and get some sleep.
I'm not sleepy.
Get some sleep anyway.
Yes, sir. No, I expect him very soon. Yes. Just a minute. Mr. Kaufman. Mr. Kaufman, that telephone is going crazy, and they all want to talk to you.
Refer them to Miss McIntyre, please. The polite ones. I'll take the angry but civil ones. Call the police on the obscene ones.
Yes, sir.
Bonnie. What's this? Mr. Nielsen?
Oh, he's the visual aids man. You promised you'd see him today.
Oh, that's right. Maybe 11 o'clock? Wait a minute. No, can't do 11 o'clock. Right after lunch?
And you promised Miss Barker you'd hear the Glee Club.
Oh, well, we can't miss out on that, can we? Is there anything else this afternoon?
Yes, tennis with Mr. Dixon at 4 o'clock.
Tell Mr. Nielsen, 4 o'clock, please.
That was our first debate. Here we were, a bunch of ghetto kids, right? We walk in, and they're all dressed up in suits and ties, and we look like a bunch of kids that just got through playing sandlot football.
What was your topic?
The affirmative. Is America spoiling its kids? They took one look at us, and they figured if we didn't win the cup, that we would take it anyway.
Here, Mr. Kaufman, sit here. I was just going to put in some time on the Dewey Truman campaign.
Sit down, Miss Johnson. I don't think Truman and Dewey need volunteers anymore.
No, I insist. Now, how would it look for the principal to roam around the cafeteria with no place to sit? Please, sit down before your macaroni and cheese gets cold. Okay?
Thank you, Miss Johnson.
I'll take your tray, okay?
That won't be necessary.
Oh, sure. Come on, let me take it for you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Mr. Kaufman, Pete was just telling us about his debut as a public speaker. And Mr. Dixon just fractures me.
Well, go on, Pete. Tell us the rest of it.
There's nothing.
Mr. Kaufman, what do you think of the macaroni and cheese today?
It's wonderful.
Good.
Hi. You ready?
Oh, you finished early. It's only 3:45.
Yeah. Let's go.
I can't. I'm stuck for at least a half hour with these remedial reading scores.
Can't you put them off?
No.
Okay. I'll wait.
My writing doesn't bother your pacing, does it?
No. No.
What's the matter?
Nothing.
You're still upset, aren't you?
I am not upset. Hurry up.
It's a long time to stay mad.
I'm not mad. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking I acted like an idiot today at lunch, right?
Well, it was.
He could have broken the ice. He's always making jokes. You could have said something funny about the food or something.
Maybe it didn't feel so funny.
Hurry up and get finished so we can get out of here.
Sure. You do. I mean, how long are you going to go around like this?
I'm not the only one that's doing it.
Well, you said it. Kaufman's acting the same way.
Let's not forget who started it.
Do you know who? I don't. I don't even know who's right. I was in Kaufman's office when he was on the phone trying to keep Whitman from getting those extra kids. I heard him. He did everything he could.
I guess we really want the same thing, don't we?
Of course you do.
And it really doesn't matter who started it, does it?
It's how it's going to end. Somebody's got to start talking to somebody.
Do me a favor, will you?
Sure. What?
Do a little work.
You ready?
Ready.
Hi, Pete.
Oh, hi, Alice.
Do you want to go on reading, or can we talk?
Oh, you want to talk to me about something?
I have an enormous amount of respect for you, not only as a teacher, but as a person.
Gee, that's a very nice thing for you to say, Alice.
And I can't stand to see you fighting with Mr. Kaufman.
Look, Alice, it's all over.
Oh, Pete, don't say that. You two have had a really wonderful relationship. Now, if you'll just make the effort to work it out.
Hi, Pete.
Oh, hi, Mr. Kaufman.
Just checking if you want to lose at tennis again today.
How's 4 o'clock?
I think I'll let you use 2 rackets today.
Now, isn't that better?
What do you mean?
Well, doesn't it make a lot more sense for the two of you to be getting along and talking to each other? You're such good friends and you agree on almost everything. I'm glad I came in and had this talk with you.
I'm glad you did too, Alice.
After all, human relationships are just a matter of working things out. If you take the time, everything falls into place. It's just a matter of give and take, and sometimes you have to give a little more than you take.
This will be the last time, I promise.
Been saying that for 2 years. I gotta say no, for your own good.
Is death for my own good? Rich saved my life. Friend, brother, let me copy your geometry homework.
Wonderful. Wonderful, huh? The kids. Such vitality they have, the youngsters these days. Such oomph. I was reading yesterday in the library. This doctor, a Nobel Prize winner for his work in arteries.
Taking the bus, lady?
What? No, last week I took. Excuse me.
Morning, Pam.
Oh, morning, Mr. Dixon. You want something?
Your name is Pam.
Mm-hmm, Pam Simpson.
He's a teacher.
Mr. Dixon? Yeah.
He's so handsome.
Well, I gotta go.
I was wondering, all these grown-ups, they're all teachers.
No, they're spies.
Spies?
Yes. Under the guise of parents. See, this is Parents' Day, and they all come snooping around, making sure they get their tax money's worth.
No, they're worried you should be getting a good education. Your mama's visiting? Such a nice girl. She must be very proud.
No, she's working.
Like my mama. Her whole life, she rolled in a cold basement, cigars.
Well, see ya.
I want to know how you feel about unlimited immigration. Remember, the time is 1904, and more than 1 million refugees per year are pouring in.
Can I help you?
I'm just looking.
Well, nobody's forcing you to buy. I like to browse myself.
The girl I'm looking for, I think she's in here.
What's her name?
Pam.
Pam what?
Pam Simpson.
Oh. Yes, she's in there.
I'm not so sure I dig it.
Me neither. Like, what if my family had been here for 100 years and worked to make the country?
Yeah, why should a whole bunch of foreigners just barge in and get the benefit?
Hello.
Come right in. I'm Mr. Dixon.
Oh, I'm Rose Lipton. How do you do?
Pleased to meet you.
What great pleasure, I'm sure.
Would you like to join the other parents?
Thank you very much.
Okay, now. Bernie and Al were expressing an attitude that at the time of the Great Immigration was called America for the Americans. Anybody disagree? Richie.
Life was tough where those people came from. We had room. Why shouldn't we let them in?
But a lot of those people were really bad news, right, Mr. Dixon? Some were sick, some were criminals. They were really a mess.
Is that true?
Some countries did take advantage of America by sending people they didn't want. And there were big profits to be made.
Didn't the transport companies lie to thousands of people?
That's right. They told anything to sell a ticket. The streets were paved with gold.
The only gold was in the ship owner's teeth.
And a little in their pockets.
Wasn't this the land of opportunity?
Well, it was opportunity, all right. But it was far more difficult to... Yes, Mrs. Lipton.
I just wanted to say how wonderful it is in the school to hear a discussion from two sides of every question.
Such a good teacher you are, Mr. Dixon.
Thank you, Mrs. Lipton. Now, remember, as history... Yes, Mrs. Lipton?
You wouldn't mind if maybe I would relate a personal experience. You see, I was one of those immigrants that you were talking about.
Well, certainly. I think we'd all find that interesting. And all you other parents, feel free to join in.
This ought to be good.
And Georgie Dressel, I'm not.
Carol Burnett?
You listen to Mr. Dixon and don't be a schlemiel.
What's a schlemiel?
What's a schlemiel?
A schlemiel is a guy that falls on his back and breaks his nose.
Such an educated class.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mrs. Lipton.
When I was a little girl, I lived in Poland. Poor. We were lucky if maybe we had for supper a piece of black bread and a raw onion. Of course, there's no disgrace in being poor, but that's the only good thing you can say about it. One day, when I was 15 years old, my papa came home and he told us we were going to sail to a faraway land called America. We were so happy because we'd heard that in America nobody starved and nobody was beaten because they were poor. And my boyfriend, David, he was sailing on another ship with his family. We made plans to meet in New York City. On the boat. You never saw so many different people. Austrians, Hungarians, Bohemians, Serbians, Italians, Poles, all huddled together like animals. Well, there was nothing to do but to try to talk to one another. Such a cackle, huh? All these people speaking different languages. But by the time we reached Ellis Island, we were hugging, we were kissing each other with tears in our eyes. I mean, what difference did it make if we didn't understand the words? We understood better than the words. We were speaking with our hearts.
Your boyfriend, David, what happened to him?
Did you meet him like you wanted?
David, his boat landed in Boston and I never saw him again. But there were new friends. There was a whole new life, like a flower was opening up. And no more onions and black bread. Instead, every night, rye bread and lakshan.
Lakshan?
Lakshan is a noodle that you shouldn't cook too long, not over 3 feet.
Mrs. Lipton, when you got to New York, where'd you live?
Did you go to school right away?
Mrs. Lipton, what was it like in New York?
I wish some of the other classes could have heard that story.
Really?
Yeah, the kids really enjoyed it. Well, I've got to go. Got another class. Goodbye now.
No, Bernie, give it back.
After 7th period.
Bernie, give it back.
Come on, Chris.
What's going on here? He swiped my geometry homework.
Borrow.
Go to class. I'll take care of Billy the kid here. Bernie, you will not make it through geometry on Grace's homework.
Miss, this boy, I know him. Believe me, he's all right.
Don't I know you from somewhere?
It's quite all right. I can handle this.
Now, I just wanted you should know he's a good boy.
I thought I was a shamil.
Bernie, let's go. Thank you. Bernie, how many times?
My lessons on verse. See, there are 2 movements, the quick and the slow. So we have the unapposed and the dactyl. And the class was really getting involved when...
They were interrupted by an elderly woman with a shopping bag. Morning, everybody.
Good morning. How did you know?
Because practically every class in Whitman yesterday was interrupted by an elderly woman with a shopping bag.
You mean Mrs. Lipton? Pal of yours? Well, she told my students about when she was an immigrant. Very interesting.
To a poetry class?
She told the same story to your class?
Oh, and in trigonometry, civics, chemistry, and hygiene. I had teachers in and out of my office complaining all day long.
Well, Parents' Day was yesterday. Today, you got nothing to worry about except students and teachers.
Oh, that's nothing. To him, that's nothing.
Well, at least today you don't have to worry about Mrs. Lipton.
I'll drink to that. No hair. Maybe it's going to be a good day after all.
Some people were saying, scratch an American and you'll find a foreigner. Now, what do they mean? Richie?
They meant that if you go back in most American family lines, you'll soon find a foreigner.
What about yours?
Well, you had to go back a pretty long way in my family. Mr. Dixon, who was that Mrs. Lipton yesterday? She sure was groovy.
Yeah, she was nice. I never knew a person her age could be so straight.
Yeah, and she looks like all those other old ladies walking around.
Well, maybe some of them have something on the ball, too.
She sure gave your lesson a shot in the arm.
That's right. And that's a lesson that a lot of people hadn't learned at the time of the Great Immigration.
How about now?
Good point, Jason. Many of us still think that people who are outwardly different are not quite as good as the rest of us. Mrs. Lipton.
I had such a good time yesterday. I brought something to say thank you. This is a photograph album from when we were talking. Look, that's me 1 week after we got off the boat in New York.
Very nice.
Oh, Mr. Dixon, could we see it?
Visual aids are always useful for stimulating the student's interest.
Hey, may I pass it around?
Be my guest.
Excuse me a minute.
I've come to relieve you of your eldest student.
Why? Is something wrong?
You hadn't noticed that one of your students differs from all the rest?
Well, she does like school.
Right. That should have given you a clue right there. On her way over here, she poked her head into a few other classrooms where she's not quite as warmly received as she is in room 222. Yarnell's geology class. She told the students the sandstone specimens remind her of her Aunt Sadie's rock candy. She has to go.
It's too bad. Kids are gonna hate you.
Me? Oh, boy. In time of crisis, you find out how many friends you really have. None. Oh, if I'm a high school principal, why do I feel like a Cossack? There goes.
Excuse me? Excuse me? Mrs. Lipton, may I speak to you for a moment, please?
Mrs. Lipton, this is our principal, Mr. Kaufman.
Mr. Seymour Kaufman. I read it on a history book label. You know, I had an uncle, Seymour. His whole life, he looked for a girl who was so proud she wouldn't let her husband work. He never married.
I'm not surprised. Would you join me in the corridor, please?
It would be a pleasure.
Oh, Mrs. Lipton. Your book.
They're kicking her out because she's old, right?
Well, she is a little over Whitman's age limit. But don't worry. If she wants to go to school, she can go at night.
But it wasn't the school she wanted.
No? Then what did she want?
She wanted to be with us, with kids.
That's right.
What did she do? When a principal or a teacher comes in and drag her out, it's not fair. All she wanted to do was to help and to be appreciated.
They really gave it to me.
That's sweet.
They would have impeached me if they had thought of it.
It's really nice.
No, I have never seen that class that hot. So what's nice about it?
Well, I think it's nice that those kids got so upset when you booted Mrs. Lipton out of your class.
Liz, I didn't boot her out.
That they were sensitive enough to understand that she's an old lady and probably lonely and were able to sympathize when you kicked her out.
I didn't kick her out.
To think that kids that age can put themselves in the place of someone from another generation.
Liz, I like Miss Lipton as much as anybody else.
Then how come you booted her out of your class?
One of these days.
Uh-oh. Here come the vigilantes.
And the condemned teacher ate a hearty peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Mr. Dixon.
Yes, Richard?
Well, on behalf of American History Class 246E, we all want to apologize for coming on so strong before.
Oh, that's all right. You were just speaking your minds.
Well, we know you're only doing your job.
And the rules are the rules.
Well, anyway, we all just wanted you to know that we all think you're a groovy teacher, and we hope there are no hard feelings.
And let bygones be bygones.
Thanks a lot. As a matter of fact, Miss McIntyre and I were just saying how much we admired the way you all sympathized with Mrs. Lipton.
Oh, then you'll help us.
Did I say one thing too many?
So what's she gonna do, coach the girls' field hockey team?
We don't have a girls' field hockey team.
So why do we need a coach?
Well, maybe she could help monitor the study hall or help in the kitchen.
Yeah, she doesn't want to be paid.
She just wants to be around kids. Is that so wrong?
Look, we're not talking about right and wrong.
Is it a crime to like kids?
And we're not talking about crime and criminals.
Well, it will be a crime if somebody doesn't help Mrs. Lipton.
Can't we go around the school and ask? Maybe somebody could use a helper, like a club faculty advisor.
Or in the library.
We're meeting her tomorrow morning before school to give her the good news.
Now they're making me feel like a Cossack. Okay, you can ask.
Oh, thanks, Mr. Kaufman.
You're okay.
Thanks.
Thanks, Mr. Kaufman. You too, Mr. Dixon. We'll find something.
I'm afraid they're going to be disappointed, but I thought they should be given a try.
Yeah, but what about Mrs. Lipton? You can't tell with a woman like that. She just might take this business very seriously.
Telling you the truth, I'm practically an assistant teacher yet.
Rose, you're too much. You know that? What are you assistant teaching? How to cook chicken soup?
Next, she'll tell us she's an assistant go-go dancer.
Such old fogies, you don't know the truth when you hear it.
Mrs. Lipton?
Mr. Dixon. Mrs. Barnett, Mr. Como, may I present my friend, Mr. Dixon?
How do you do?
History teacher, Walt Whitman High School. Is there something that you wish to discuss with me, Mr. Dixon, concerning tomorrow's lesson?
Can we talk over here?
In privacy, of course. The children maybe found a little job for me already.
Well, they're trying, but I don't think they're going to succeed.
Maybe your assistant. You know, when you leave the room, I could schmooze. They're not going to succeed.
There's just no positions available for non-professionals at Whitman.
Such a shame. But the boys and girls, they tried. You know, that's nice. That's very nice.
Yeah. They're going to be terribly disappointed tomorrow morning when they have to tell you they failed. They're going to feel like they didn't come through for you.
Maybe. Just maybe.
Just maybe what?
Just maybe.
Just maybe what?
That's what I said.
We tried everything, Mr. Dixon. We just can't find nothing.
No luck.
That's true. I even had a go at Mr. Llewellyn.
The speech teacher?
Yeah, well, I figured that Mrs. Lipton's speech could be an example on how not to pronounce.
Uh-oh.
Who's gonna tell her?
Well, I guess I have to. She sure is gonna be disappointed.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
You look darling.
Thank you. Mrs. Lipton, about that job.
I must tell you something first. Oh, I'm so ashamed. I feel terrible. I put you to all this trouble of finding me a job.
But
like Benedict Arnold, I feel. But you see, well, the truth is, I found a job myself. something very important. So you see, I can't accept what you found for me. Do you think I'm awful?
No, that's
no,
fine.
Miss Lipton. I mean, if you've got something better than we can find, well, we're happy for you, right?
Right.
Good, I'm so relieved. It's such an important job. The safety and welfare of hundreds of children. I couldn't turn it down. Well, I start this morning, so I better be going. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, Miss
Miss Lipton. Thank you.
That was so nice. You know, I just can't get over how sweet that was. Mrs. Lipton coming in with that story so the kids wouldn't feel bad.
Yeah, I'm surprised they bought it.
Why?
Well, she did stretch it a bit, didn't she?
Well, I don't know.
The story about her job, don't you think it was a bit exaggerated?
Well, maybe.
Maybe. I mean, how could it be true? What possible job could she have that has to do with the welfare and safety of hundreds of kids? Tell me.
That's pretty strange. No, I never have. You felt like a what? Where'd I hear that before? Well, look, Jerry, it's late. It's been a long day, and I'm having a cup of coffee with a couple of my teachers. So I'll be... Yes, Jerry. You're a very nice man. Fine. Goodbye.
Pete, Liz, you all set?
Yeah. I just had a talk with Jerry Palmer. You know the principal of Gardner Elementary School?
Oh, at 18th and Hudson.
Yeah, he's very upset. He says he's got a crossing guard over there that not only stops the traffic, but she has long chats with the drivers. Schmoosing, she calls it. And then when he spoke to her about it, he got very upset because he said she made him feel like a Cossack. Isn't that strange? Wait a minute. Why should that sound so familiar? Feeling like a Cossack. That's a strange expression to use, isn't it? I don't know why that reminds me of something.
so that's the theme. A generation gap prom. A salute to mom and dad. Now, the guys who got the bread can rent those tuxedos. And the girls will wear those gowns. You know, those... I mean, you ever see Junior Miss on the Late Late Show? The one with the orchid on the wrist? Those kind. And see, my band will work up some of those really old far-out tunes like In the Mood and Chattanooga Choo Choo.
She ready for Junior Miss.
Now, after the meeting...
Now, wait a minute. You elected Richie as your chairman, so let him talk.
Thank you, Mr. Dixon.
You're welcome.
After the meeting, all you committee heads choose up the people who you want to work with. Okay, so now we've got decorations. Anybody for decorations? Bobby Wallstone. 1 L, 2 L's.
Just one.
Entertainment. That's all right. I'll take entertainment. Okay, tickets. Who wants to take on the money? Bobby Wallstone.
1 L.
Thanks, Bernie. Okay, publicity. Bobby Wallstone.
Are you crazy? No.
Now, anything I left out?
Oh, just the same thing we forget every year. Clean up.
Oh, that's right. Anybody want to take on cleanup?
Well, I guess I could. Oh, no, Bobby, that's enough. Who hasn't volunteered for anything?
How about you, Bernie?
I have a test to study for tomorrow.
Oh, come on, Bernie. All right, clean up for Bernie.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody who wants to be on the entertainment committee with me, come up here.
Decorations, tickets, and publicity over here.
Don't you think that Bobby Wallstone has taken on too much?
No, the more she does, the more she's able to do. I just think the kids take an unfair advantage of her good nature.
What would they do without Bobby?
I don't think she wants them to do without her.
Are you kidding? It's supposed to be a formal dance.
Well, what do you think this is?
Well, it doesn't look very formal to me.
You know, just look at this thing you're doing over here. It looks more like a funeral instead of a dance.
I don't care. I think it looks formal enough.
Yeah, next thing I know, you'll be inviting the moms and dads, too.
Miss Johnson, Miss Johnson, don't you think it's the biggest dance of the year and there should be some dignity?
Right. Dignity is important.
Dignity? We're supposed to have fun.
Yes, fun is important, too.
Well, I think you should choose my poster because I've been working on mine for hours. And she just throws something together in 10 minutes. Isn't that right, Miss Johnson?
Well, the time factor is important.
Well, I think it's the result that counts.
Well, after all, the result, you know, it is the result.
Well, which one do you choose?
Yes, which one?
Which one? Well, let's see. Well,
Why not choose them both? Both? I love them both. Look, Mom and Dad, we love you, but we have to be ourselves. Why can't we use them both?
Let's use them both. That's a good idea, Bobby. Both of them, okay?
Oh, that's neat. Oh, I really think that's neat.
Yeah, okay.
Well, no, we have to have them by tomorrow. Can you do that?
Well, sure. It only takes me 10 minutes, remember? 10, 15, 16, 17, 18. Howie, 12 sold, 3 returns, and $18 each.
Oh. Do I hear the rustle and clink of legal tender?
Guess what, Mr. Kaufman? There's only 28 out of the whole class not going, and we're going to cut that in half.
The unfriendly 28. My heart goes out to him. You know, the principal's office gets 10%. Oh, by the way, I called downtown. If you can work it out with the custodian, you can keep the dance going till midnight.
Hey, wow. Come on, gang. Back to work. Enough of this.
Bobby? Bobby Wallstone. Oh, look, you gotta help me out.
What's the matter?
Freddie Ashton has the German measles and I have no drummer.
Oh, I think you found the one thing she can't do.
No, man, I know this guy over at Jefferson who plays really good, but he has no way of getting his drums over there the night of the dance. So I was wondering maybe if you knew someone with a pickup or even a station wagon.
Well, I'll tell you what. We'll borrow my father's wagon, and you and I'll go over and get him.
No. I'll be busy picking up my date and I won't have time.
Okay, I'll do it. Just tell me where to go.
Well, what about you?
Me?
Your date, he'll be picking you up, won't he?
Oh, don't worry. I'll be there. I promised Joyce Davidson I'd help her with refreshments.
You don't have no date?
Richie, later, huh? I mean, you can work out the details for picking up the drums at another time.
Huh? Oh, yeah.
Don't you think you're taking on a lot even for you?
I don't mind. I like to keep busy.
You know, you're one of the most well-liked girls in the school. But you don't have to do everything that everyone wants you to do for that to be so. I mean, you can do less and people will still like you. Because of the person you are.
Person?
Mm-hmm.
But that's impossible. Somebody's got to be taking her.
I tell you, nobody's taking her.
Oh, but that's lousy. I mean, well, you know, she's doing everything. Somebody's got to take her.
Hey, Bernie, you got a date?
Oh, yeah, I'm taking Janie.
Hey, there goes Nancy Coles.
So what?
She just broke up with Dave Kane.
So?
So, David Kane.
Well, let's ask him.
Oh, cool.
Hey, that would be cooler. We could just, like, throw those two together.
I think I've got an idea.
Hey, what is it?
Cool it. Here comes Bobby.
Howdy.
Hi.
Hey.
Bobby, how many tickets you got left?
A few, but that's a few too many.
Well, David Kane is over there. See him eating lunch?
Yeah, so what?
Well, I heard he hasn't bought any tickets yet.
You mean he's one of the unfriendly 28? Time to make it 27.
I'll go with you. Hey, Dave. Look here, babe. You know Bobby Walsall?
Hi.
Hi. I hear you haven't got your ticket for the Generation Gap prom yet.
I'm not going.
But you got to. It's going to be great. Richie's band's playing, and they're going to be spelled by the 5 horsemen of the apocalypse. What do you say?
The same thing I said before.
All right, I'll tell you what. I'll leave a ticket right here, and if you don't change your mind, you can give it back to me anytime. Coming, Richie?
Later, huh? Gotta talk to
Okay.
Dave.
I don't have a pickup truck if that's what you want to know.
No, man, I got a date for you.
What do you mean a date?
No, but this girl's real special. She's one of the most popular girls in school.
Yeah? Who?
And she's really nice, real smart, and has a terrific personality.
Who you got, Richie?
Her.
So what do you want me to do about it?
Convince David that he should take Bobby to the dance. He's still at lunch if you want to talk to him.
Richie, I'm a counselor, not a matchmaker.
Yeah, I know.
I just don't think I should stick my nose in where it doesn't belong.
Sure, but...
You understand?
Yeah. Only,
Only
see,
what?
it's about your nose.
What about it?
Couldn't you stick your nose in? Just a little bit.
You ganging up on me, Miss McIntyre?
No, I just thought if you knew what it meant to Bobby, you couldn't say no.
It sure would mean a lot to her, man.
Oh, come on, man. Besides, I don't have the money for the tux.
Not everybody's wearing them.
If you want a tux, cool, I'll dig up the bread.
Then all you have to do is buy the tickets.
I don't know.
Come on, man, what do you say?
You know, a lot of kids would love to be owed a favor by a counselor.
Miss McIntyre, do you think you could rearrange my schedule so I only have to come to school on Tuesdays and Thursdays?
No, that I'd have to think about.
Then you'll take Bobby to the dance?
That I'll have to think about.
Now, it is true that Huey Long was born and raised in a log cabin, but his family wasn't poor. In fact, his father managed to send Huey and 5 other children to college. Now, yesterday, we spoke about the Louisiana of Huey Long's childhood and how corrupt the politics were at the time from the Louisiana Purchase up through the Reconstruction period. As a matter of fact, you could count on the fingers of one hand those major public servants that were honest. The others?
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Fine. How are you?
Not bad at all.
I decided to go to the dance.
Far out. You need an extra ticket?
No. I wondered if you'd like to go with me.
You want me?
Well, if you're free.
Well, wow. I'll have to think about it. I'm on the dance committee, you know, and I'm going to be kind of busy.
Right. You think about it.
Hey, thank you for thinking of me.
Yeah, sure. Well, I'll see you.
I'll see you.
Bobby, come right in.
Miss McIntyre, do you have a minute?
Sure. What is it?
David Kane asked me to go to the school dance with him.
Oh, really? I think that's wonderful.
Well, yes, but, I mean, do you think I should go? I've got a million things to do.
Do you think you should go?
Well, I never even knew he liked me.
So now you know. What's the real problem?
What if I mess it up?
Mess what up? What's there to mess up? David's a nice boy, you're a nice girl, so go and have a good time.
Well, I know I'm not very pretty. And I always try too hard. And I can't even dance very well.
Bobby, it's not what you do or what you look like that makes people respond to you. It's what you are. And what you happen to be is something very special and very lovely. I don't think David Kane could have made a better choice.
He just broke up with Nancy Cole. She's beautiful. Look at her. Look at me. Look at my hair. I thought, because you always look so together and you always look so pretty, I thought maybe you could help.
Oh, sure I will.
Thank you, Miss McIntyre.
Bobby, now remember, this is just one date. If something more comes of it, that's fine. If it doesn't, that's fine too. As I recall, David Kane is no great shakes as a dancer either.
David! David! Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm sorry I took so long getting back to you, but if your offer's still open, I'd like to take you up on it.
Well, look, I wouldn't want you to do anything you didn't want to do.
Oh, no. No, I want to go.
Well, great. Just great.
What time do you want me to be ready?
No, 8 o'clock?
I'll see you then. 8 o'clock.
Right, 8 o'clock. Wait, where do you live?
David, everybody in school says that you're going to be editor of the school newspaper. Well, I've read all your articles, and I think they're the most intelligent, mature, advanced.
Alice sent this over. You like it?
I love it, but don't you think it's cut a little low? For me, I mean.
What do you mean for you? You hold it. Now, with your hair like that, little green eyeshadow, some lashes, some pale peach lipstick, you can see it.
That's wild. You look nice.
You don't look so bad yourself.
That's swell. Now, if I could only breathe.
Details, details.
My father's modest but clean. The story of my life. Open it.
It's really pretty.
My mother works in a flower shop. And I got news for you. The car won't start.
What are we going to do?
limousine, but it shrunk in the car wash.
Yeah, you know those harsh detergents.
Johnson, the World War II swinger in me has become uncaged. Follow me?
I don't know. It seems rather old-fashioned to me.
Nice, huh?
Having a good time?
Yes, I am. Hey, I even had a speech prepared for you. You want to hear it?
You two? Listen to this. Richie tells me you're responsible for the decorations. I think they're among the most original, inventive,
Go on. Go on. Joyce, you need any help?
I thought we agreed this was the one time you would attend only to Bobby instead of everybody else.
Well, I thought Joyce might need some help. And while David was dancing with somebody else,
Well, he's not dancing with her now.
Hey, what happened? Do you disappear like that often?
only when I get thirsty.
Shall we? You know, Nancy and I broke it off because we didn't get along. Understand? May I yield, but ungraciously.
Having a good time? You really like him, huh?
I'm having a wonderful time.
Yeah, but I mean, you really like Dave.
I like a lot of people. I even like you.
It really worked out between you two. It figured
What figured?
that it would work. Great dance, huh?
What are you talking about?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
Bernie, I think you better tell me what's going on.
Well, it wasn't just me, you know. It was all of us. It was mostly Richie. Yeah, why don't you ask Rich?
Richie's playing. I'm asking you.
Hi.
Hi, Miss McIntyre.
You dance very well. Are you having a good time?
As a matter of fact, I am.
David? Will you get my wrap, please? I'd like to go home.
Why? What's the matter?
I don't feel very well. It's nothing to worry about.
Well, can I get you something?
No. I just think I'd like to go home.
I'm sorry, man. She got onto it. I don't know how.
You told her?
I didn't tell her. She just figured it out.
You know your trouble? You think the rest of the world is as stupid as you are.
She's just left.
Look, Bernie told me what happened. I'm sorry. What can I say?
You don't have to say anything.
Bobby, don't blame the kids on the committee.
I don't blame them. How could you do it to me? How could you do it to yourself?
All right, it was a bummer when it started out. But I want you to know it's not a bummer now. I was having a good time.
I'm so glad for you.
In fact, I've never had a better time with a girl. I mean, you're fun. And you're nice. Come on back to the dance.
I can't go back there. Probably all those kids know about it.
Then let's have a pizza together.
Pizza?
A hot dog, anything, just don't go home.
They took up a collection?
Yeah, you should have seen the single-breasted job with the cummerbund I tried on. I looked like Bill Haley in the Comets. Look, you don't have to go with me now. But expect to hear from me tomorrow, and the next day, and the day after that. So, do you want to have a pizza with me now or get bugged by a lot of phone calls?
As long as I don't have to have an anchovy.
I have never encountered a compulsory anchovy.
Not yet, maybe. But I hear they're forming a union.
Betty's the most talented girl in her design class. I mean, she could start as a buyer's assistant today. She's got the head for it, but she wants to learn the retailing business from the bottom. Oh, certainly. I understand. Oh, she'd be delighted. Tomorrow, 4 o'clock. Okay, thank you. Goodbye. I think I got Betty Emery a job. Now, all I have to do is nail down that bookstore job for Lois Pretiman. Then all I have left is Anne Klein and Rhonda Peters.
Wait a minute.
Oh, Pete, what can I do about Rhonda? She's so withdrawn, but she's really bright. I gotta figure something out.
Well, even though it's a late Friday afternoon, looks like you're going to be here the rest of the evening. So I better go. Guess I'll have to drive up to the mountains all by my little old self.
You know, I'm ready. I mean, can't you tell I was just sitting here waiting for somebody to come and take me away from all of this? I mean, we don't want people to start saying, what would we do without Liz?
No, we wouldn't.
Come to think of it, what would you do without Liz?